Good morning. Here to talk about Joy's Serenade. All right, there was some discussion past few days in the Discord, in the community, groupthink, some of the brainstorming sessions. And one of the comments, one of the words kind of sparked something in my head. 1, 2, 3, so we're on page 237. Third, I don't know if it's called a stanza or grouping because there's, I guess, 7 lines in it. But third section down, I guess. Second line, the phrase "use will's straight edge." All right, I had done a Joy's Serenade kind of read through early on. Didn't really get too far. Looking back on some of the ideas now, they seem kind of ridiculous. But so a user had found that "use will's straight edge" can also be referred to as Occam's razor, based off of the philosopher Will Occam. And I really like that. That seemed to click with me. It made a lot of sense. It leads me to believe at least that section of Joy's Serenade. It's not so much there's a clue here, but how to interpret and how to read the rest of the book, which I think is a possibility, that Joy's Serenade isn't so much as reading it, you'll get a bunch of clues, but reading it may help you decipher some of the other clues in the book. He said, JCB said several times that, you'll find clues, you'll find themes, and you'll all you need is the book itself. So it would make sense if there was, toward the back of most books, or not most books, but towards the back of some books, I guess you have like an appendix or, a reference of acronyms or themes or something that's mentioned in the book to help the reader give a little bit more context or insight. So this could be, an appendix of sorts. So anyways, that's how I'm approaching it. And I didn't want to go through the whole thing because I really wanted to do more of a deep dive. So I plan to do a series on Joy's Serenade, breaking down each of the sections. So this is the first one. We'll see how many of these I get out before I get distracted onto something else. All right, so the first section we're going to look at is starts with a note. Right, really attention grabbing. And again, I don't know that much about poems, spoken word, or songs, or songwriting, or poem constructions to know, what's intentional, what are rules, which may be a different perspective because I'm sure there are many people on here who do have a background in that. So this is just my humble take on it. Okay, so we start with a note, right? Really attention grabbing. It's just 2 words. A note, the molten tone of a tune, which, notice how those two sound alike. I think there's a word for that. Tone and tune, but also note and tone. It's the exact same letters, just rearranged. Rest inside all of us who want a song to follow, a treasure to hold. Hey, treasure, that's a key thing. I think I picked that up the first time. We may find music in a poem. So on the first read through, I was trying to find something similar to use will straight edge. Meaning a group of letters and a group of words in a line that would key me of another common philosophy, common phrase, common something. And I didn't see anything. But on the second read through, I tried to pick up if those 7 lines were just a standalone, similar to the stanza in the beginning, right on the back of the dust jacket. Similar to if this was just all we had, what could I take from it? And so then I got toward the end, we may find music in a poem. Well, so this whole thing's a treasure hunt. Treasure's in this, and we're trying to look for something. We're trying to find something. So we may find music in a poem. Okay, we're looking for music in a poem. So first I try to do that literally. And by that I mean, can I find the word music in this poem other than obviously the music right there, right? So I went by first letter, all right, so M, all right, molten, okay. The theory being maybe if I found a word that had the first letter of all of them, those, M-U-S-I-C, so those 5 words would make a phrase or lead me to something. So molten, okay, U, we have us, so molten, us, S, song. And I was getting a little bit excited at this point because there's not a repetition. I mean, there's not many words to choose from. So molten is, you have molten and you have may. And well, if you're excluding music, which I was. And for the U, there's only one, us. Okay. For the S, there's only one, song. Okay, so when I find like there's only one of something, it seemed intentional. So molten, us, song. For the I for music, went through. The only one is in, toward the last one, in a poem, right? In. So music. Here's where we hit a roadblock. There's nothing for a C. So maybe we're supposed to find the C. You know, if we're looking for music in a poem and we found everything but C, maybe we're trying to find C, which brought me back to the past and the future word search, on how, you know, play basic C, C basic play, which I think now the common group think is that C is a cipher. So is this whole 7 lines trying to get us to find C, find a cipher? Or I still think there could be a musical aspect, find the note C or how to play a C. All right, so we hit a roadblock using the first letter of each word. All right, so restart. What if I just need to find the letters in there, which might be a little bit of a challenge because, I mean, let's see, start from the beginning. M, how many M's are in here? All right, so you got molten, you got may and music, so 3, and poem, so 4, and not too bad. All right, so if we go top to bottom, left to right, molten's the first one, so that still leaves us with molten. So next we're looking for U, and so the first U is actually inside tune, because if we're just looking for the letter. So molten tune, okay, that's kind of interesting, because at first it was molten tone, but now we're looking for molten tune. And then we go down for S. So there's just, this method, I ended up abandoning it. I mean, I found them all, and you can find them too. It just, the message I got didn't make sense to me. May hold, us hold, I don't know. So I went through, so this is just a kind of a topic of attempts I tried and that you can try at home, or you can go another direction. So I did the same thing with rhyme. I did the same thing with rhythm, because according to Wikipedia, how do you find music in a poem? And that's the question I asked it. How do you find music in a poem? And it said you can find music in a poem by analyzing, which is what we're doing, analyzing, looking for treasure, analyzing this book, by analyzing the rhyme structure, repetition. There's a lot of repetition in that first one, pattern, and finally how the words are arranged on the page. That's all straight from Wikipedia, and straight from Google. Which, I mean, I kind of like that. I kind of like the idea of, hey, because I still think we haven't found any musical puzzles, not that I've seen. So I really think some of the puzzles, at least one, are going to be musically related. And while earlier I believe that for the small chapters, you're not supposed to do a lot of Googling outside, I think all bets are off with stuff like this. So Joyce Serenade, a poem. And that's why I'm not upset with use Will Straight Edge by having to, you know, if you Googled what is Will Straight Edge, got it. Because I haven't seen in the book, and I may have missed it, but if Occam's razor is mentioned, which it may be. I'll have to double check on that, or shout out in the comments if Occam's razor is mentioned in this book. I mean, that would even prove his point even more, that you don't need to Google, or all you need is the book. But okay, getting distracted here. Okay, so the next thing I tried on the first part is everyone's been doing the ciphers and substitutions from the word search, so that's fresh in my mind. I have the websites already, you know, pinned. Let's go ahead and try those. So going first off of straight words, right? So a note is 2, the molten tone of tune 6. So doing that, you get 2, 6, 5, 6, 4, 4, 3, which I like the repetition. Putting those into the alphabet, like getting just the 2, so B, A, B, C, D, E, F. So B, F, A, B, C, D, E. So it'd be B, F, E, B. Anyways, did that and put those letters, they didn't spell anything, into an anagram solver. Then that's basically what I did. I put the first one into, I used 2 websites. So Decode, I used the Caesar shift. I brute forced it 26 or 25 times. And then the ones with at least 1 vowel or 2 vowels. I didn't find any with 3 vowels. So interesting note, there was no 3 vowel combination if you were just doing a straight shift, meaning all the words are shifted the same amount. I put that into an anagram solver, found a couple interesting things. I mean, I'm drinking a coffee, and one of the things was decaf, DECAFF. But there was still decaf. That's only 6 letters, so there was 1 letter left over. So it was like I think it was decaf C or decaf D, which is decaf coffee. So if somehow decaf coffee is a clue that helps you, I don't know. Another one was what was it? Band FC. So FC is in Europe could be football club. So if there's like a band football club, or if somehow some football club's a clue, which I don't know that much about football or soccer. That might be something to explore later on. I put a note to the side. But anyway, so I tried that letter. Then I tried, because going back to if we're trying to find music in a poem and it's talking about rhyme and rhyme structure and rhythm. So then I went through syllables. So, doing that is very interesting that the syllables are very similar to the letters. I guess that kind of makes sense, though. It was 2, 7, 6, 7, 5, 5, 4. Again, a lot of repetition, which is how you find music in a poem. I did the same thing with that, and that didn't really lead any clear results. Like there wasn't any, decaf, egged, which I kept getting egged, and eggs are on my brain. We had eggs last night, but Hikaru, the user Hikaru, keeps mentioning about looking for an egg, I guess tied back to Ready Player One. But I just thought that was interesting. Okay, so didn't really lead any big breakthroughs, but maybe this video will spark something in you or give you a hint in something I've said that will help you on your path through interpreting Joy Serenade. The last thing was I just tried to look for straight repetition. There's one more thing after this, but the last thing was straight repetition. And so I got tone and tune, note, tone, tune, all of those. Some of them repeat the same letters. Some of them are just very common, tone and tune. The word music is only mentioned once, but if they mention song, poem, music, if you take all 3 of those combined with note, tune, tone, I mean, it's certainly a very musical theme. I'm trying not to go into the rest of the poem, but I do think music is really, serenade, right? So, you can't really avoid a musical theme. Didn't really see anything tying to joy directly to this other than something inside of us. Oh, so the last thread I followed was another literal take on it. The molten tone of a tune rests inside of us. So I started looking at organs and seeing if any of the body's organs I could find in here. Heart, liver, lungs, skin, the largest organ. And that didn't really lead anything. So the last thing I'll leave you with as we're wrapping up this video, this is a shorter one. Happy New Year, by the way, I forgot to say that. Or Happy New Year's Eve, I guess more correct. So most of the other poems mentioned in the book are even numbers, 2, 6, whatever. So this is an odd one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and you can kind of say that most of them are similar lengths. The last 2, second to last one's a short 4 lines, and the last one's a little bit longer. So maybe that's supposed to mix in there. A thought I had was the dust cover. What if the dust cover is actually part of Joy's Serenade? I like the idea of the book being sandwiched between them, because you have the dust cover in the front or wrapped around, so it could be sandwiched again, Joy Serenade at the end. So the treasure's inside. Again, we're looking for it. Maybe you're supposed to put the dust cover at the beginning or the end of this. So I'll play with that later once I've gone through each of these sections. But that's the end of the first one. I'm wrapping up this video here. And again, no real groundbreaking things. A couple themes I'll keep in mind as I'm looking at the next one and as I go back to the poems is maybe this is a way to attack a poem, a way to look at it. So I'm definitely going to keep in mind the how to find music in a poem, or how to find treasure in a book, or treasure in real life. That could be related is using rhyme structure, rhythm, and stuff like that. So I'm going to use that for the Forrest Fenn box. Again, and a lot of people, that's not really groundbreaking. A lot of people have already are kind of attempting that, looking at the consonants, looking at the syllables, looking at the structure, and again, that kind of all jives with what I'm saying, because an appendix at the end of the book, you can still read the book without ever having opened the appendix. I did that with several books that I've read. I've never read it's my co-treasure hunter over there. she gets 50-50 split of everything. Even though I don't really see her putting a lot of work into the book, I'm sure she's still like mentally attacking it. Anyways, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. All right, hope it helps somebody. That's the end of this one. Take care. Bye.
Now listen, all you treasure hunters, searching all around for plunder. Do you need some help to be your best? There's something that you're trying to find, but you're about to lose your mind. So come on, listen in to Estes Quest. Estes Quest.